Stream is starting. The Captain Coder at the helm. Bean water is ready. Today we will learn a lot. He loves the questions, he loves to sing. Join our Discord and follow him.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you happen to be in the world. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Captain Coder here. We got a couple hat redeems. I saw 2 biotests. Thank you for the hat redeem. Thank you for the hat redeem. I think I saw one other one. Who redeemed it? Who redeemed the other one? It was Poo Stack. Add a hat to this stack. Thank you so much for the hat redeem. It's so wonderful to have the whole crew here with us on this beautiful Wednesday morning for me. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. It's wonderful to have you all here. We have the whole crew. Biotest, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. Oh, is there a haircut under that? There is. Mary Cat, look at that. Look at that haircut. Isn't it shorter than it was? It sure is. Mary Cat, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here. Captain Enosa, Poo Stack, Mary Cat, BK, Code Monk, you guys are all wonderful. Good, that's right, BK. Good morning via Twitch. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. It's so wonderful to have all you beautiful people here on this beautiful day. One sec, I forgot to open up on my laptop. I like to have I have the Twitch interface open so that way when I'm looking at my screen over here. Anyway, I forgot to open it up. Give me a second here. It's so nice to have all the wonderful human beings here, wonderful bots here, wonderful smabs here. It's good to have you all here. Smab, Code Monk, Dramulks. Thank you guys so much for being here. Biotest. Love you, my friend. Biotest, what have you been working on? I always love seeing the music you're making, the games you're putting together. You're always learning and coding and growing and doing something amazing. I hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the hat redeem. We also got Lance. Lance is probably at work right now, but I hope work has been well. Lance, are you still doing stuff in the Godot? Or are you working in... I can never remember what you're working on. Making one though, gotcha. Very cool, very cool. Roy Koo, welcome back to the stream as well. Popcorn. Have I told you that I love you? Yes, Popcorn. Have I told you that you're beautiful? Popcorn, thank you so much for being here on this beautiful day. Kovalaki. Kovalaki talking about compiling times. Compile times can still be crazy. I remember my senior design project. We were doing something in Google Web Toolkit. Does anyone remember Google Web Toolkit? I think there's still support for it. You could compile Java. I don't know why anyone would want to do this. Compiles Java into web applications, so it compiles to like JavaScript. It's not that Java is your backend. No, Java becomes your front end language. I don't know why I wanted to do this at the time. I was in love with Java at the time, folks. Yes, I'm an ex-Java lover. I don't hate Java. But I am an ex-Java lover. I used to love Java. I feel like I was an expert in it. Welcome back, Dragon Dust. Nice to have you here. And we had this product or my senior design project. We were doing a web page, an application where you could design you could design board games on the internet. And then it would build them using, there's an API to a tool called the Game Crafter. So there's this website here called the Game Crafter where you can take parts, you can put together games and get print-on-demand games. So you do print-on-demand games here. And so you can publish your games through this site. Here. And have them print on demand. They have an API, so we built this whole thing called the Board Game Developers Toolkit, some crazy, ridiculous name, and then it became Tabletop Studio, and then Tabletop. I remember when Tabletop Simulator came out, I was like, I feel like they stole this from. It's okay, they did it. Anyway, that whole project took about 20 minutes to compile because it was compiling. It was like crazy Java compilation where it had to compile Java, and then that had to be transpiled into JavaScript, and then there was like this Tomcat backend, all kinds of crazy stuff. Let's see here. Kvadratus says, Captain, when will we get to see you configure your own rendering pipeline with graphics API? It's a great question. That's a great question that I don't know that I have an answer to. What you should do, because I'm not even sure where to start on that. What you could do, Kvadratus, is I created this forum, and people, I guess, just didn't know about it. Suggest a topic. Go on the Discord, click on suggest a topic here, create a new post, and tell us what you want to see. Tell us. You do Captain. Well, you can write in here, Captain, I would like, and then you can type fast to this, to see a thing. Boom. And then there's a button that'll show up, and you click post. And then it'll show up right here, and then it'll sit there forever, and I'll never get to it. But but you can at least say you tried. You can at least say you tried. Beautiful spaghetti, BK. It's exactly right. Kavadra just got love to that. I want to say thank you to Locks Dat P. Thank you, Locks, for being here. Those luscious Locks, welcome to the stream. Roy Koo, I saw your post on here. This looked incredible. I'm looking forward to. Are you planning to join the game jam again? The Dungeon Crawler game jam. Added my dice library or dice style library to your stuff in here. This looks super cool. Look at this. We have rolling a 1d4. Got a 4. Does this modifier get added to this value? I'm curious. So is it 1d4 plus 1 minus 1? Is that what that means? Very cool stuff going on with your dungeon crawl here. Unity Coda, how have you been? How are you doing today? Roiku says, yeah, I might take part in the Dungeon Crawl Jam. I'm working on my earlier game script. Very cool. I'm looking forward to it. It was my favorite jam from last year, Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024. I'm super excited about this. This is going to be March 22nd to March 31st. I'm really excited about that. This is actually my spring break, so I'm going to have the whole week to burn on it, which will be awesome, And then I have one more week after that, so I won't be completely burnt out going back in. But DC Jam 2024, I'm super looking forward to it. I feels high. How you doing? I feels Dragon Dust. It's nice to have you here. Belier, welcome back to the stream. Kabadra Tisk, excellent question. Captain Enosa, my buddy, would love this website. He loves making board games. It's such a good website. That's where I got the Poorly Drawn card game. We had it printed. So for Jern Jam, and this is a project I'm still working on. Jern Jam, we did the Poorly Drawn card game. So we have Jern Jam 2. We did a Poorly Assembled, that's what it's called. Some Assembly Acquired was the theme. We made a game called the Poorly Assembled Deck Assembler here. I had so much fun with this. The game came out fantastic. I actually got first place with this one. It's a little card game we made. It has these silly noises and sound effects and stuff. I wrote the music. Music's a strong word. What would you say? Let's buy this card. We're gonna buy a focus. So we have this card game we made. Can I defeat? I'm not gonna fight Bjarn. I'm just gonna end my turn here. So the goal is to defeat this legendary guy here. Let's see. So I need 4 attack and 4 magic to beat him. I can beat Tuna. Nope, I can't beat Tuna right now. I have 2. Let's buy a Gandork. Buy 2 here. Get the Gandork. End my turn. Oh no, we're in trouble. All right, I can beat Tuna. I have 3. Let's use a focus to draw some cards. 1, 2, 3 attack for 3 money. Let's buy a zap for 3 money. Let's beat the Tuna for 2. Makes me discard my hand when I beat the Tuna, so we'll end here. Draw some cards. Oh, bad hand. Not a terrible hand, not a great hand. Let's beat the Tuna. That's all I can do. I have 2 gold. What can I do with 2 gold? I can buy a slash, and so I can get a rage. Rage is a good one in this level. I can get a rage. And then we'll beat the Tuna. Come on, don't draw an owl. I got another Tuna here. 3. I got 2 monies. I don't have enough. This isn't great. What I can do? Oh yeah, I can discard this here. This now has 4 magic. Okay, so I can beat a goat. Let's defeat a goat. 2 gold. I can't. Oh, let's get another rage. Let's get another rage. I need to get more magic attacks here, and then I can beat a tuna. I know there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. We're gonna get through this. There's a Porkington. Let's focus. Get a focus. All right, 4 attack. Oh, I can't. I need 4 magic to defeat this guy. I can beat an EAL with them. Oh, I forgot. I gain a boo-boo when I do that. Let's get a defensive stance for 4. That'll help us with the magic. All right, then I gotta end my turn. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. We got a shiny. Let's get rid of that. Let's beat a Porkington. We have 4 gold. Defensive stance. All right, now it's just a time. We just gotta wait till we can draw the right cards here. Just gotta wait till we can draw the right cards. Sijian, welcome back to the stream. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't quite. Let's gonna reject these cards. See if we can get some better cards in here. Focus, one of the best cards in the game. We'll get that. Let's reject. See if we can get focus. Another focus. Here we go.
Let's focus.
Let's can't do much. Can't do much. We'll end our turn. All right. So let's see if we can get enough to be. Oh, come on. We can't do it. Can't do it. Okay. Anyway, this was a game we made for the Jern Jam 2 game jam. Super fun. What I was getting at is we had so much. I had so much fun making this. Oh yeah, it's all wrapped up here. I had this printed. I had this turned into a physical card game. And we actually have all of the cards from this game in a physical card game form here. Super cool. I had so much fun doing it. So we printed this into a physical card game. If you are, I haven't gotten around to doing it yet, but if you are a member, if you are one of the $10 members, we're going to send you a copy of this when I finish it. Up for sale on merch, not up for sale on merch. If you are a member on Captain Coder's Ko-fi or on the GitHub for $10 or more, I'm going to send a copy of this to everyone when we finally finish the game. Everyone who's a member at the $10 level or higher is actually going to get a physical copy of it. It'll also be available to purchase. That's not going to be the only way. Once I have it together, you will be able to purchase it as well. And then there's going to be a digital version up on Steam. I'm aiming for April 1st. I know people think that's a joke. April 1st is sort of my deadline on that. I'm getting close to having that actually finished, though. The back of the cards here, I'll show you. The back of the cards. Good question. I think they do international shipping, yeah. So this is the back of the recruit cards. There's 2 types of cards. There's recruit cards, and then there are monster cards. That's what the back likes. March 31st. That's right, Smab. My internal deadline is April 1st because my class starts on April 8th. So I want to have 1 week of ease into it time. I kept telling people, so really what I said is end of March. What I kept telling them was end of March, and I just thought it was funnier to say April 1st. Rex and Nerd Waffle, welcome back to the stream. Happy to have you here on this beautiful Wednesday. I hope you're having a beautiful Wednesday. All right. How we doing, everybody? How we doing today? What are we working on? What the heck are we doing? Who am I? Where are my false teeth? I don't know. It seems so nice. You can play it here. If you want to take it, it's not the most intuitive. It's not the most intuitive of games. That if we lose the game, you'll get a week of vacation right after that. Nope, I know. I don't look. I'm a bit of a workaholic. So folks, just giving you a heads up, I was thinking once I started talking, it would go away, but I have a little bit of something going on in my throat, and I have a little bit of a nose thing happening, so I may end up ending here early. We'll see. I was hoping it would just go away. We'll see if it goes away. Usually it goes away when I have something like that, but we're going to see. So I'm drinking lemon honey water this morning, actually, to help with that throat tickle, help with the tickly throat. Let's see, we got a question here. I saw that on your pre-intro that there was a cool two-handed keyboard. That's something you actually use? Yeah, so this is my keyboard here. It's a little grody, so try not to judge me too much. But I'm happy to show you. I use the Kinesis Advantage Pro, so this is the keyboard that I use. It's one big piece, but it's separated like that. Have you tried medicine for throat called bean water, Roiku? Yeah, so this is the Advantage Pro. I know the keyboard's a little bit grody here, so I apologize. I have carpal tunnel. I haven't had surgery for carpal tunnel. I knew someone who had this keyboard, and I asked them, I was like, did you, and they said they had carpal tunnel, and they got it and said they didn't get surgery. They don't have to get surgery because Advantage is not the right thing. Advantage Pro Kinesis. Kinesis. And I've had this keyboard, I think, for a while. It's an expensive keyboard. $350. But this keyboard, my pain went away overnight. Mooniz, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. So it's a very spicy keyboard as far as price goes. What I will say is this keyboard has lasted me. I've been using it for 15, 20 years at this point. Not quite 20 years. I've been using it for, I got it in like 13 years. I got it in like 2010, 2011, something like that. I've been using it for a long time. I really, really like this keyboard. I will say it started to wear down a little bit, but overnight I was having this pain in my hands overnight. For me, the pain went away. Where the hands would be for me naturally too. It sort of forces your hands. It's like inverted, so everything's inside. I don't know. I love it. It's absolutely wonderful keyboard for me. Price is hot. It's a hot, spicy price thing. What are we working on today? We are going to be working in some Godot today. So I've downloaded Godot 4.2. It looks like I have 4.0, 4.1, 4.2 here is the latest version we're going to be checking out. And I haven't used Godot in a while, so we're going to need, if anyone here knows the Godot, please help me out with it. I'm going to do my best. Mooniz, how's the moon been, my friend? What have you been doing on the moon? It's Mitch of Godot, so we're doing .NET Godot. So we're doing C# Godot, which from what I understand is similar but different. Trambles, I Godot. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to do our best. Let's go to our Git here. We're going to create a project here. So something people have told me is that Godot with subversion control can be gnarly. And I didn't know that. Or I haven't experienced that, is what I will say. I have not experienced that. You've been really tired. I've been super tired the last week. I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you're able to get the rest and relaxation you need to recover. Let's do a Godot folder here. It's going to be our Godot version. Godot Chess Puzzler. And we'll click create here. I did not really have any problems. Sorry, Godot popped up over the chat for me. Give me a second. I did not have any problems with that. I haven't had any, but I haven't made any substantial projects either. So the first thing I need to be able to do is I need to be able to link, and I remember being able to do this before. So in our I'll go into Godot here. Oh, this is interesting. There's nothing here. Let's add a script in. I need to be able to link it to my chess library, the chess library I made. And I remember being able to do that before, without much of a T. Godot handles get well. They prefer XML YAML. Did I not hit a C that I wanted to be C#? I feel like I just downloaded the C# one. Called the .NET. Godot handles get well. They prefer XML YAML over bin files. Submerging conflicts are easier to handle. Gotcha. Maybe it was Godot 3 that someone was mentioning. Yeah, welcome back to the stream. I hope you are doing wonderful. Congratulations on number 13. Congratulations on number 13. So let's start. Let's create a 2D scene. Okay, and I want to have a grid of tiles essentially here. So the first thing I want to be able to do is get a grid of tiles. I want to create, and this is me knowing basically nothing about Godot. is I want to create a node is going to be my scene. I know that nodes are their main thing to do here. And I want to create this is where I always get confused, not confused, but struggle, is because the way I do it, I need to not think in the Unity way. I need to do this as a Godot script. See, it's trying to do a GD script here. Let's go with C#. All right, so we're gonna create this. We're gonna call this one our grid. We'll call it our puzzle controller. That's sort of what I was using before. So let's create this. And I'm hoping this will generate the C# project for me that I need. There we go. There we go. So now I have the C# project. It's using .NET 6, so I'm curious if I can use like later versions of .NET in here. I think we ended up using .NET 7 without any problems. Godot has a tile map feature, but that might be overkill for this app if you're not familiar with it. I don't want to do a tile map. I don't think I want to do a tile map. Is the grid meant to be a 2D level or the interface kind of idea? Let me show you. It is going to be this. I posted a link to it. Hang on, I gotta find it. We have a chess puzzle game that we've created, and we are porting it to a bunch of different platforms. So we have a BK, thank you for that JSON stuff. I haven't had a chance to look at it just yet. So here is the WebAssembly version. This is the version we made yesterday using Blazor. And so the grid is this. I want to be able to move. It's a chessboard. It's a chessboard like this. I click next puzzle. And so I need this idea of tiles on the screen. And I want to be able to put things in there. Do it in MSIL. Quadratisk. I'm not sure what MSIL is. Is that Microsoft Intermediate language? You tell me to do it in Microsoft. You here to heckle me, Quadratisk? We can drag. I think the drag looks terrible, Smab. No offense. No offense. The built-in drag. We can drag like that. I actually find the clicking to be easier. Just like my opinion, though. We can do the drag and drop, though, Smab. I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against it. I just find the clicking slightly more satisfying. You know, you can't let that. You gotta make sure you exercise those mouse gaskets. You gotta exercise the mouse gaskets. BK Dev, I'll take a look at it. I haven't had a chance yet. I think it'll work. It just they all need to be in one file there. So this is interesting here. I didn't notice this until just now. If we're on Android, they do .NET 7. If we're on iOS, we do .NET 8. But by default, so this would be if we're doing desktop, it's .NET 6. I am really curious why they don't just do .NET 8 here. Exactly, BK. It would be better if it only drags the image, but it's like the default drag and drop behavior in the web. So that's, and I didn't implement, Smab did. And thank you, Smab, so much for your contribution to that. I really appreciated it. So I hope this answered your question. It's meant to just be a grid to display this chessboard. It can be an arbitrary size. So I want to draw a square onto the screen and color it. And so the first thing I want to figure out how to do, because I can never quite remember here, is I just want to add in a square. As a starting point, less finicky than the control node when it comes to arbitrary size. So I might do something like a node 2D here. I might make this our grid. And then our grid, my idea is I want to have multiple containers in here that are like images, perhaps. I don't know exactly how I would do that. A node 2. And, sprite is probably what I'm looking for. Sprite 2D. So the question is, can I do sprite or is there just a color here? 4.x started with 6 as minimum. And I guess they wanted to not have people update unless they wanted Android, iOS support. Gotcha. Good. Thank you for that information, Belair. Sprite. If I wanted to just draw, all right, let's see. If I wanted to just draw, let's do a sprite here. So I don't see anything on my screen here. Sprite 2D. if I wanted to just make this hat, so for texture, do I have to give it an image, or can I just specify I want a square and a color? A square and a color. So it's always a question I have here. Irish John Games. Irish Jern, how you doing, friend? I feels good. Thank you for the hat redeem. Let's get a hat added to this stack here. Thank you for the hat. Thank you for the hat, I feels. We'll put that right there on top. Jern, how you been, friend? I hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. Jern, thank you for the hat redeem. Let's add a hat to the stack. We're gonna have to zoom this camera out. We're gonna have to zoom the camera out to support that. Thank you for the hat redeem. Thank you for the hat redeem. Let's zoom out just a hair, just a hair, a little bit. Okay. So, I have the question. How do I draw a square on the screen? Nerd Waffle, all right, there it goes. There it goes. Now people wanting all the hats. Yeah, our captain is the Mad Hatter. Thank you for the hat redeem, Nerd Waffle. Thank you for the hat. All right. Irish John, nice try. Nice try. As a crew, you can bring me down. But as individuals, you have little power here. You have little power here as individuals. But as a group, you can get a hat overflow attack if you with your powers combined. With your powers combined. All right, so let's go look at Godot. Draw square. This is all I really want. Custom drawing in Godot. I want to be able to draw a square. And maybe drawing a square isn't quite what I want, but I just want to put a square onto the screen. Also, if I have an individual powers, it's true, put them together, and you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable if you do it together. Okay. Draw texture. I should read this here. This is up to date for Godot 4.2. Makes 20 Twitch accounts. That's what JD does. JD comes in with his bot and starts so you can transfer your points. So he transferred a bunch of his points to his bot and then started. Now he gets 2 hats. It's okay. Everyone has the power to give others powers. It's true. You can transfer those points. Jern, what have you been working on? How's your game coming together? People, do you know Irish John Games? Is it just Irish John? Irish John Games is working on this incredible real-time strategy game called Rise of Piracy, published by Microprose. The game's coming, folks. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic. Making it in Unity. Go check it out, folks. Give him some love. Give him some love. If you haven't done so yet, you see this. Attention, all lurkers. You gotta click on this button right here. You see this button? Here, we'll even put it in yellow. Boom, right there. Click it. Click it. What are you waiting for? Click it. Do it. Do it. What are you waiting for? Did you click it yet? Give him some love, folks. We love you, Irish John. Jern. Wait, Microprose still exists? They do. They do. They do exist. And they're fabulous. Fabulous. Folks, make sure to give Irish John some love. We love you, Jern. I hope you're doing well. Oh, also, Jern is a host of a Captain Coder emote. You guys know Captain Coder doesn't get his own emotes. If you want to, you can get the Captain Pirates emote over on Irish Jern's channel. The only place to get it exclusively from Irish Jern. All right, Jern, thank you so much for being here. Custom drawing in a Node 2D is really useful. Here are some use cases: drawing shapes or logic that existing nodes can't do, such as an image with trails or special animated polygon. Drawing a large number of simple objects such as a grid or a board for a 2D game. Hey, that's our look. That's our use case. This is our use case right here. Drawing a large number of simple objects such as a grid or a board for a 2D game. Boom, exactly what I want. Brave, Brave, good game. Early Access 2022. Where's the time machine, nerds? Where's the time machine? Jern, do you have a time machine for us? Custom drawing avoids the overhead of using a large number of nodes, possibly lowering memory usage. Okay, so add a script to any canvas item derived node, like control node 2D, then override the draw function. All right, so we're gonna override the draw function here. So let's go into our scripts. So I don't need a sprite 2D. It's gonna be a node 2D here. And we are gonna add in a new script that's gonna be a C# script. And it's going to inherit from node 2D, and this is going to be grid renderer board. I'm going to go with board renderer. Okay. We're going to create this. This board, we want to override the draw method according to the documentation. So I want to do a public override draw. It did it. Draw. Why will you not autocomplete? What is going on here? Why? Dude, this is crazy. Okay, we did it. First try, folks. First try. All right, that was pretty nutty. Let's see if there's a Godot extension. That was crazy. C# tools for Godot tools. None of these seem official tools. C# tools for Godot. We're going to try 3.22 or greater. This one didn't say for 4. The problem is no one uses C# in Godot. No one uses C# in Godot is what seems to be the case. From what, anytime I look for anything, Sean Codes, welcome back to the stream, my friend. That autocomplete was wild. Okay, let's see if we can draw a square to the screen. So let's get our documentation up here. Draw commands are described in the canvas item reference. Illuminati! I love that name. Illuminati, how the heck have you been? It's been a while. It's great to see you, my friend. Welcome back to the stream. I hope you're having a beautiful day. The draw function is only called once, and then the draw commands are scheduled and remembered, so further calls are unnecessary. If redrawing is required because a variable or something else changed, call canvas item Q redraw in the same node and a new draw will happen. It's strange that they don't mention mesh instance 2D, but maybe just drawing is easier. I have no idea. So Beliar, this is all pretty new to me. I've done so little. Proton, thank you for the hat redeem. Welcome back to the stream, folks. The incredible edible Proton Fig. Thank you for the hat. Get one of those on the stack for you. Thank you for the redeem. All right, let's come back in here. Illuminati says, I'm back to coding the game on my own. Volunteer thing didn't work out for me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that's okay. That's why I was away trying to create a game with a few people. Very cool. So the question is, what did you learn? Did you learn something good? Because if you learned, you're the winner in all of that. I'm now focused on Unity netcode for game ops and Steam Relay. Very cool. Very cool. If you got anything you want to share with us, feel free to drop a link in the chat. Always love to check those things out. Okay, so cue a redraw. We'll let us do it. Draw. I want to draw just a filled square. Let's look at canvas item here. I'm not drawing a rectangle. Draw. And draw animation, draw arc, draw square, draw rect, draw primitive, draw rect, a rect 2D, a color, filled, float, width. This is one of those things that feels like this probably isn't what I really want. When I'm looking at this, it probably isn't really what I really want, because I want to be able to like select and click and do some stuff with these. And I just don't know Godot well enough to be like, oh, I should be using this thing instead. I just wanted to draw, really all I want is to draw I guess we'll go with this. I'll go with this for now. The issue I think I'm gonna run into is that I don't wanna just draw a rectangle. I wanna draw a rectangle with an image inside of it. I'm going to want to draw a rectangle with an image inside. I believe draw square and draw rect are solid. You can provide colors at the very least. It will provide immediate visuals to see the region you are specifying. Yeah, so I think eventually I want to draw with a chess piece inside of it. So the way I kind of did it in Unity was I made it, and then I want to be able to click on it. I draw rect to draw the grid, use sprites for the pieces. Okay. And then I have to manually make sure that I put them in, like on top of each other. Let's try draw rect. All right, draw rect here. I know that they have this draw rect like this. Illumini says, I learned volunteer stuff is for younger guys, not 30 plus. I've been thinking about, so I just moved is a strong word. We moved at the end of November, beginning of December, so about 2 months ago. I've been wanting to start volunteering at the library near me. Not quite the same type. I draw rect to draw the grid, use sprites. If you're wanting to draw an image, that would be a sprite 2D with a texture specified. I'd treat that as a separate node though. Okay. Logically, it should be combined, but maybe that'll be like the parent node. All right, so let's draw a rect. Let's see if we can figure out how to do that. Is this a method of draw rect? Draw rect. You can take in a rect 2D. For now, we'll do a color rect color true. And then the width here, we'll create a constant for that width. Okay. Public const. Maybe this isn't be the public const. This is maybe something else. But for now, I'll do a public const cell width, cell size, because they're going to be squares. Let's go with 52 is what we decided in our last one. This should be an int or float in this case. So it wanted a float, right? Cell size. Cell size here. No worries, Lance. No worries. I know you got stuff going on. I know everyone got stuff going on. No biggie. It's interesting. Let's see. Draw rect. Let's read this. Draws a rectangle. If filled is true, the rectangle will be filled with the color specified. If filled is false, rectangle will be drawn as a stroke. If width is negative, then 2. So it's weird that it gives me a rectangle. What's this width value here, actually? Oh, this is probably the width of the border. The width of the border. This isn't the cell size. It's the width of the border. Okay. Proton says, I'm trying to resource my old super fast 3D calculation routine I wrote on Amiga 33 years ago. That's amazing. It's a complex routine. I could no longer recreate such an algorithm, so I have to try to resource it. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Exactly, Nerd Waffle. How dare you? How dare. New rect 2. Okay. And then the color equals. Is color a struct here? Okay, so we can do something like this. We're gonna go with. So the question is, what does 0, 0 here, and then X and Y. Let's look at the overloads here. Come on. Vector 2 size and position. Okay, so we're gonna do a new, really 0, 0. Cell size. And let's give it a color here. Do they have some pre-selected colors with color dot? They don't have some pre-selected colors, which is fine. They might have them somewhere. New color. RGB is, I'm assuming here. Let's try 1. Let's go look at the documentation for color. Colors. Okay. Colors dot. Thank you so much, Belier. Let's go with I guess, do they have dark? Let's go with beige. There we go. So our grid is going to have a board render on it. We'll call this board. One of the things that's a little bit interesting here, we'll call this puzzler. Suppose. Let's run it. Let's see what that looks like. No main scene has ever been defined. Select current. Do you trust them, Captain? They might be a liar. Look, folks, we got a square. We got a square on the screen. We did it. Ship it. Square? Yeah. So a question I might have would be, is there a way I can, in the editor, say, hey, by the way, I want you to render this so I can see it in the editor? That would be cool. That'd be cool. I don't know if there is. Public. Let's do a public float. Okay, float. Oh, we already have a cell size here. So, oh, that's what we did there, cell size like this. Technically, it's possible. It'd be nice to be able to see it here. I'm not super worried about it. Let's give this thing a board. We got to give this thing a board here. Add tool to the class. So if I do this, I might need to look up exactly what that means. I'd have to look up what's that. Roger Dev, thank you so much for the follow, Roger. Oh no, Roger Dev arrived. I got my Roger Dev. Welcome back to the stream. How you doing, friend? I'm glad you're here with us. I need to recompile, so it doesn't automatically recompile when I come over here. No, sorry, Roger Dev. I let myself get confused. So my Firebot, I figured out how to get it to show when people come, so I can say hi to you. And in the past, this used to only happen when people followed. And so I was like, hey, wait a minute. Roger Dev, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. So is there a way I can force it to recompile? It doesn't automatically recompile for us. Is it reload, tools, editor? So I would be curious, and I'd have to look this up. I'm going to try not to get, it either checks it was built outside or you can build from the button. So I'd have to do .NET build. So I can actually do a .NET build here. I don't know if that actually did anything. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Belier, nicely done. With argument has no effect when filled is true. Okay, so we just want to leave this empty then. All right, so I want to get this thing a chess object. So the board needs to have a game state that it's referencing. So I want to give it a public. We're gonna have to add in .NET add reference. This is where things get weird, I think. We're gonna add a reference. Can I add a DLL to this, or can I add a reference to the project? I'm not sure what the best way to do is. But this is going to be Captain Coder Chess Puzzle Logic. And then we have a headless version as well. Captain Coder, Captain Coder Chess Puzzler Headless. So now we can, I might need to reload Visual Studio Code. Sometimes it struggles with this type of thing. But now I should be able to do a game. If I do a using Chess Puzzler. Does the top right corner play button work? Does it compile if needed? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm brand new to this. I know that this runs the project, so it would probably build project. Here it is. This button right here says build. This one. So that's probably, I just needed to click there. Yeah, so hiatus, welcome to the stream, by the way. I'm glad you're here with us. Happy Wednesday. Game state. We'll call this our game state. And we need to give it a game state. I'm just going to give it a sample game state to start. Let's create a... This is interesting. Default game state. Might do something like this. And then... we want to be able to change this, but I kind of want a default game state so that way we can see how it works. We can adjust it a little bit. I'm going to do default game state here. And create a static method. Public static game state, default game state. Just so we can check it out. There's also a oh, sorry, I saw that. I already saw that. All right, so we're going to do a game state. State equals new game state. This requires some weird one, and then it needs a puzzle library. And we're going to create the puzzle library. The default one is loading files from the file system. And I'm assuming we need to somehow get those into our game as a resource. And I'm not sure how to do that yet. And so I'm going to create a fake puzzle library, new mock library here. And our mock library, public class. I'm curious if it'll let me do stuff like this. mock library is an I library, I puzzle library. And all it's going to do is it's going to give us a puzzle. It's always going to give us the same puzzle back. Return puzzle. We're going to create one here. Puzzle equals new puzzle. And we're going to give it a board. Board reader dot read. And then a default board. Okay, and I believe this needs to be a string array. Default board. Oh, and we're not, hang on. One thing that would be super cool. One thing that I can do here, I can't do this in Unity, but I should be able to do this here. So I should be able to say language version 12. So I should be able to say, by the way, I want to use C# 12 syntax. Assuming I got that code correct there. 1 second. Let's go look at what I needed to do. Captain coder logic cat the Captain coder logic at CS proj lang version, not language, lang. Cool. Okay, thank you, Smab. Hiatus says, we'll drop you a game for your extended break. It is also a nice example of how little UI is needed for great and engaging game. Perhaps for inspiration, Google GitHub Epitaph game and play it in your browser. It's an idle game, so just read, wait, and choose from red action. Conquer the galaxy. Very cool. Hiatus, you can use the exclamation point Q to add it in. It'll add it to a list so I won't miss it. Captain says, I've added level to a folder called levels and file system window on the bottom left of your IDE. Then you can do the C# equivalent of var level equals load resource. Very cool. We're going to do that momentarily. For now, I want to create this mock library. We'll swap this out with a real library here. But we're just going to add in the default puzzle here. Exit that. Puzzle. Captain Nosa, thank you so much for that. This is the starting puzzle we're just going to put in here. Cool. All the autocompletes really helping me here. Formats. Cool. Didn't like that either. Okay. This is our default puzzle. I'm hoping we can get the default game state. Return one of these. So it's our default game state. We'll make this a get, and it's just going to equal this by default. All right. But I'm not totally sure if you can have a class in the same file in Godot, but if it builds, it should be fine. Yeah, so this is just me stress testing some of the things. Really, I shouldn't do this. In general, this is not a good practice, but we're going to see if it's okay with it. Here, it seems to be okay with it. Sometimes it's nice to just stress test these things. I don't know if nice is the right word here, but we're going to do so we're going to have a board equals game state dot current puzzle dot board for each int rank in board dot ranks for each char file in board dot files. We are going to draw a rectangle for each one. Okay. And we're just going to shift it over here based on our rank and file. So our rank determines our Y. Is this how I did this before? Hey, it's true. My left earlobe really supporting them here. Giving my right earlobe a break. I don't think the .NET version just looks for a class with the same name as the file minus the extension. Yeah, in C# it does. In not in C#. In Unity does special stuff where you end up without using these overrides. So Unity is interesting. It does some incredible optimization, so you don't actually have to have overrides. Your objects, it's not that big a deal, but in Unity you don't end up with overrides, even though you have magic methods. And during the compilation process, it injects a bunch of stuff so that not every object is actually being called. So in Godot, I'm fairly certain, because we're using an override, if you have a node, these methods are always being called at the appropriate time, regardless of the game object itself, which doesn't mean necessarily it's a bad thing. It's just that it does. That's not an optimization that they've done with the Godot engine that Unity has done. And I don't know that optimization is really a big deal. So our X and Y position now. So let's calculate our X and Y. Do a float X. This is our column. This is going to be based on our file. So we're going to do A. Our file is a character from A through the width of the board. So we're going to get this down here times our cell size, like this. I'm having some fun with it, Prophets. I'm having fun with it. Our Y is interesting because we want the highest rank at the top. So rank 4 should appear at the top row, not the bottom. So the simplest thing to do here would be rank times, and rank comes as a 1 here, rank times cell size. This will put rank 1 at the top, and I want rank 1 actually at the bottom here. Prophets, welcome back to the stream. Okay, and so the way I think I do this is I do board.size minus rank. Is that right? So if I'm at rank 1, if I'm at rank 4, that puts it all the way at the top. Yeah, so it's rank this way, and then we multiply it out. And then we're gonna get our color here. Our color is going to be, for now, I can do something simple where I say rank plus file mod 2 question mark equals 0 beige or colors dot dark gray. So I can do this to swap the colors out here. Let's see if this builds. I'm not sure that this didn't draw, but let's run it to see if it runs. I think they could have made that in Godot as well, as they use source generators, but I'm not sure if it would improve performance. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure it would improve performance. So the question I would say is, if you had 10,000 game objects, that there is some overhead in calling a method that does nothing. It's incredibly small. But if you're calling it 60 times per second, nanoseconds start adding up, right? This is interesting that, this is why. This needs to be X, Y. There we go. I didn't actually swap out my X and Y there. Still not seeing it here, but let's run it and see. So this thing of getting it to draw here. All right, so we got a column. We got a column. That's interesting. Can I force this to reload is a question. I know I put tool on it there. Rap time, I'm doing fabulous. BK, thank you for the hat redeem. Let's add a hat to the stack. Let's get a hat added to the stack here. Thank you for that. All right. Rap time, how you doing, friend? I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Any day I can wake up and code with the crew is a beautiful day, and today is no different. Today is one of those beautiful days. So, why isn't the X moving left to right here? X, Y, width, height. Oh, I wonder if it is going off the left side of the screen? Can we do a debug dot log. Is there or is there a console dot? Do I just do a console dot write line if I want to write out my x, y positions? X, y. Can I do this? I know that C++ code checks if the function all actually exists, and I think the .NET version returns false if it's not overwritten. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening under the hood. All right, do we have output? Someone tell me, if you can, how I can get... There it is. So it's drawing off to the left there. That's what I thought. That's interesting. Oh, this should be file minus A. All right. I do want to do a debug here. Dot write. Okay, cool. So it's debug.write here. I wonder if, well, it's still in our, am I still in play mode? This is super interesting. There we go. So we have a little board on the screen now. I am really curious. There we go. This is interesting. If I toggle it off and back on, I get to see it'll re-render it there for us. Now I need to add in sprites to this thing, this board here. So my board's going to have some sprites on it as well. I'm wondering if it makes sense. I also want to be able to click on these. Rather than just rendering a single rectangle, do I want to make a child node and then draw into that child node? Or is that starting to get complex? So I want to draw sprites inside of this grid here based on what's there. Wrap time, maybe 3D Unity next? Maybe. We might be wrapping up with this one. So I think I'm gonna be working on this maybe one more day and then we're gonna wrap it up. We're having fun with it. I think I want to do a Tetris game next. A Hatris maybe. We'll see. I want to do a Tetris style game I want to do some more stuff with Raylib. I was having a lot of fun with Raylib. But we'll probably do something. We'll probably do another game. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do. Someone suggested on the Discord. Someone suggested doing something with WebGL, Blazor plus WebGL. Doing like direct WebGL calls. That could be really fun too. We might write a very simple engine in WebGL or something. Blazor WASM plus WebGL could be really cool. I don't know. I bet there's bindings for it. I bet there are bindings for it. All right. Get rid of that. I'm trying to decide how I want to draw my sprites here. Belair says, while being at that point, if you ever create a node class inside Visual Studio, you need to make it partial, though you would get a compiler error if not anyway. Well, being at that point, yeah, I think it's not that, like I said, I don't actually think there are there's many benefits. I don't think the benefits are really all that great. I want to add so this is interesting. Should I be inside of draw? Should I be adding in sprites to my scene? I don't think I should. I think ready is probably what I should do to add my child nodes in. So I want to add in some sprites. I want to draw sprites onto this board as well. So I feel like I'm doing this like a very non-Godot way because I don't know the Godot tool well. I feel like I'm doing this in a way that if you were a knowledgeable Godot programmer, if you used Godot a lot, you probably wouldn't take this approach of like, oh, well, I'm just going to draw this in here because I want each one of these tiles to be something I can interact with. I also have this backwards. Should be dark gray and beige here. Let's rebuild. I do like that I have to press, I think I like that I have to press the build button as opposed to in Unity, it just does it for you, because sometimes you make a bunch of changes. Anyway, I think I like that. I'm not sure. I think I like having that control. What are our thoughts on this? I want to... So yeah, I want to draw... I bet there's a draw text. Draw text. So not a draw text. I do rather like seeing different approach beyond there is more than one way to do anything in all languages. Yeah. My question though is like, is this the, I'm not at this point, check it out. At this point, I am not utilizing the engine. I'm not doing anything special that the engine could do. And in fact, I'm like doing some stuff. The engine just happens to be my render. I'm not taking advantage of any of the power of it. Using the actual text label nodes, gotcha. I kind of feel like I want to create nodes inside. Let's try this. I'm gonna try, so we have a board and I'm gonna create a child node and I'm gonna call this a cell. Make it a node 2D. And so the idea is there's gonna be, the board is made up of tiles. So the board should be made up of tiles. I'm gonna try doing it this way. So this is gonna be a tile, and there's gonna be a grid of these tiles that know their positions, and these things know how to draw themselves. These things know how to draw themselves. Tile, board tile. And then these are gonna have a sprite inside. So it's gonna draw the square, and then the sprite will be inside of it as well. So I think I want to do this. Not really this, but this literally just draws a rectangle. 0, 0, is this relative to this object? So that's a question I have. And can we do, let's make this a public const. It's probably gonna be, we're gonna have the color specified, but this should be our board renderer dot cell size. And the color of this thing needs to have a public color, and we'll default it to beige, colors dot beige. And I'm editing the wrong file. And I should delete that other file here. Let's close you. Remove puzzle controller. Brandon Martinez, Brandon Martinez. Thank you for following me today. We got Brandon Martinez. Welcome to the family today. Well, I thank you so much for following me. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the academy. Brian Martinez. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the follow, Brian Martinez. Brandon Martinez. I'm sorry, Brandon Martinez. Happy to have you here. All right, so this board tile, 1 second. We're gonna come into our board render. Our board render, I don't think actually draws anything. We're gonna get rid of that. My board tile, let's make this a tool here. And it's gonna be filled up. We'll do a build. And so now this has one tile in it. My question kind of was, if I adjust the position here, okay, so it's relative to the position of this thing. So I can have multiple tiles here. So this tile can know how to draw itself onto the screen. Our board is made up of those tiles. And then these tiles will also know if I click on them, I can have an event happen. Thank you for the compliment, Popcorn. I appreciate that greatly. So here's our tile. Our board is actually going to create these. So it's not really a board render anymore, but when we're ready, we're gonna add a method here called public void initialize board, like this. Beige, yeah, beige. Draw inside the canvas item. That's right. So the sub thing there. Still makes the evil person. If someone murdered your family, what's going on? I missed the context that. Then he can be Captain Devil Coat, or what is it? I missed so much context here. Well, being at the point you ever, blah, blah, blah. What? Oh, you are doing Godot. Sort of the worst people in the game. I'm missing something. Raptine. So just so you guys know, anyway, we're not gonna, let's try to avoid the Unity stuff. A2 the Dre, yeah, we're doing some Godot stuff. We're doing the Godot. Just so you guys know, someone threatened me, just so you know, that I didn't stream for a while because of Unity. You guys, there's some crazy people out there. Someone sent me like serious threats because of Unity. So let's drop that, okay? It's not cool. Yeah. So remember when I was gone for 2 months? Yeah, that's part of it. A2 the Dre, welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. Gee, welcome back. It's great to have you here as well. Yeah, so let's not talk about Unity versus Godot or Unity Drum or whatever. It's not, we're gonna drop it. Okay. All right, initialize board. I'm gonna, I appreciate it. Lurking is fun. I lurk a lot on Twitch. There's a lot of reasons I was gone, but that's one of them. We're gonna initialize the board. So this board here, I need to know, how do I get rid of the internal state here? So I wanna be able to get rid of the internal state. I need to be able to delete all my child nodes, okay? Or at least be able to add child nodes and then adjust them. So Godot child node, add below. This is not a 2-player chess game. If you want to play a version of this, is a single-player chess puzzle game in which you must solve. The moves, you're only allowed a valid move. So notice I can't move this knight into this position. Valid moves are those you have to capture a piece. Every move has to capture a piece. And you solve the puzzle if you are able to capture all but one piece. You have one piece at the end because there's nothing left to capture that piece. So that is this puzzle here. If you want to check out the Blazor version of it, you can find it here. Yeah. So this is, I wish I could say I came up with this game. It's based off of, Captain Enosa did a board game redeem. We did Solitaire Chess. Board game redeem. And so this is an implementation of this style of game. The version that we have, it supports an arbitrarily sized board, not just a 4x4 board, but it's essentially the same style of game. But can you solve for X? Look, X, if X is the puzzle, then yes, I can solve for X. So we're gonna initialize our board. I was gonna look in Godot. We're gonna add child here. All right. Let's go into node. What are the methods here? I want to add a child into it. Nodes or Godot's building block, a tree of node. Let's look at our methods here. Node methods. We got enter tree, add child, find child. So add child is going to be how we're going to add some stuff in here. So So the question is, how do I make a child? How are the pieces you get decided for that? So these are pre-built puzzles. So the puzzles that you're seeing on the site, there are 80 puzzles by default. We haven't written a puzzle generator yet, but there are 80 puzzles, and the puzzles come from these text files. So these text files that have just like predefined puzzles in them. Great question, man brave. Great question. Okay. So yeah, so let's look at this. We got add child. The question is, how do I construct? Can I instantiate? How do I instantiate a node? Instantiate node Godot. How do I spawn summon a node object through GD script nodes and scene instances? All right, so we have a ready. How do I instantiate one of these? So I want to create via code. We can get a node. This looks like it's looking up a node based on its place in the hierarchy. Man brave, yeah. So the puzzle here, the puzzles is just a text file, and then the way that's laid out, that's our board. So this would be a 4x4 board with a rook in this position, a knight here, pawn here, and a rook there. Yeah. So and then that gets translated into our board data type. So we have a board data type. Yeah, dot is a blank space. And those get loaded into this board class here. And so if we look at the outline, here, we can see the board class has this information associated with it. So board is just a data structure that is essentially a two-dimensional array that you can set and move things around. There's a reader that constructs this board. Exactly. And then we have a puzzle. Let's open up the puzzle file. So the puzzle file is, the puzzle class actually has all of the move logic in it. The board doesn't actually care. The board doesn't know how the pieces move or that. All of that's put into this puzzle class. So all of the move logic is inside of this puzzle class. And so a pawn can make these moves. A knight can make these moves. So a pawn can move forward into the left or forward into the right. That's what these two represent. And then we say, well, when I go to get the moves, generate all the moves it can make, and then it's only possible to move if you can capture piece. So then we filter out the things that we can't capture. Well, I understand. I think new, and then you say node works in C# and then add a child to the parent. Okay, we're gonna look into that. Man, brave, I hope that answered. I don't know if there was a question there, but I hope that makes sense. I want to look here, creating nodes. This is all I wanted here. New, and then I specify, okay, very cool. So what I want to do is I want to create a new board tile. And when we're ready, we're going to initialize board. And so, man, brave, one of the things I'm hoping to do with this project is turn it into a class project with where my students are going to implement portions of this. And they can choose, we'll probably do it as a console game first, and then they can actually choose whatever engine they want to put it in. So I'm trying to figure out the different ways to do it here. What are the pain points? And then the students can sort of say, okay, well, let's go I'll have some of them, if they want to, they can use Godot. If they want to use Unity, they can. If they want to use Raylib, if they want to use Blazor, they can. C# stuff in Godot seems pretty solid. Did they fix it so you can make WASM with it? Not yet, Popcorn. So they are waiting for .NET to essentially solve that problem for them, from what I can tell. And so in .NET 8, you cannot compile to WASM directly. You can compile to DLLs, and then you need a entry point into your project as you need like a main. So you can't add an arbitrary DLL to a project that isn't there. WebAssembly, A2 the Dre, it stands for WebAssembly. So you want the project to be an engine agnostic. Exactly, man brave. Not quite engine agnostic. We have what I'm calling, we have the game, we have all the rules. This is how we've implemented it so quickly in a bunch of different ones. We have logic and headless. these are agnostic to a view. So we have model. This is our model. The board is our model. Chess piece is our model. This is our logic puzzle. This is our data model. Our headless version is actually our game state. This is our control. This says, okay, how do I modify this? How should the player be able to interact with this game? So we have a handle select, we have like a cursor, we can move around here. And then we've implemented several different views for it using these same code base. So we have a console version, we have a raylib-c version, we have a Blazor version, we have a Unity version. We are now doing the Godot version. Exactly, Belir. WASM, we don't have an AOT. .NET doesn't have an ahead of time compilation AOT compiler that goes directly to WASM yet. We're hoping to get it in .NET 9. We'll see. Fingers crossed. We'll find out in November. Kuwani, welcome back to the stream. It's great to have you here. But yeah, we have several versions of this running right now, and it's great. My favorite so far was the Raylib version, and I want to. This is why I want to make a Tetris style game in Raylib. So we have this. So this is running all that backend code, but it's in raylib-c, raylib CS, the C# bindings for Raylib. And so we have this version, which this is my favorite version. This was my favorite one to write. It was, in my mind, the simplest one of everything. It was the simplest version of everything. It didn't everything else has all of this thick code template stuff around it just to get it to work. That one is the super, super tiniest version. The console one is also well. So the reason, yeah, Belir, it was using mono and that no longer updated. Exactly. That is the same reason that Unity is stuck on older version of C# is because they're using mono as well. Let's see here. Let's come back over here. Thank you for the hat redeem, Lance. Let's get a hat added to the stack here. Thank you for the hat redeem. All right, get a hat added to that stack, folks. We have about 10 minutes before we're going to take a break, and then those hats come off, folks. So if you want to get your hats in, we're getting close. If you want to get those hats in before the break, you'll be able to get them after the break too, but we're getting close to having that after the break, we do a clear on the hats. All right, so initialize board here. We want to create a new tile. New board tile. Like this. Board tile. Tile equals. Is this all we really have to do? And then we add the child. Add child tile. Adds childe. Biyaz Kadi. Biyaz Kadi. Biyaz Kadi. Thank you for following me. Today we got Biyaz Kadi. Welcome to the family. I hope you know you're welcome here. I hope you enjoy your stay. Oh, Biyaz Kadi, welcome to the family. Thank you so much for the follow. Let's go with Dark Gray. Why are you singing with hats? Thetra, people keep using the hat redeem. Thetra, welcome back to the stream. They keep doing exclamation point hat. They keep wanting to spend their points. 500 points, you can add a hat to the stack. 500 points, add a hat to the stack. And that's how we ended up here. That's how we got here. Color cannot be assigned. Oh, this should be a get set. Like this. You know what's coming. What's coming, my friend? Thetra, what's coming? I have no idea. I couldn't even gander a goose and to find out. Tile.transform. Look at my points. Ooh, we got it. Are we getting Tetris? Are we gonna get Tetris? Or are we gonna get a hat? Hats. Thank you. Sean Codes, thank you for the hat redeem. Thank you for the hat redeem. Let's add a hat to the stack. Sean Codes. Oh, you don't have enough points. That's okay. Thetra's got you covered. Thetra's got you covered. Thank you for the hat redeem. Oh, there we go. Thank you for the hat redeem. We're gonna put the National Zoo hat there. That's in the Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., 50. Oh, can I not do that? Is not a variable. Tell that transform equals. It says I can set it new transform 2D 50, 50. What is this taken? Transform 2D. I can't construct it that way? Fascinating. Fascinating. It should be able to... Oh, it's a vector 2. Position. Okay. Transform dot... It has an X. That's interesting. Raptine, A2 the drain. Thank you for the hats. Thank you for the hats. You do get... let's get a hat in there. We're gonna have to do a hat reallocation. We're running out of hats. Hang on, this one. See if we can get that one on top there. Thank you for the hats, folks. All right, you've got to run out soon. Well, you'd be surprised how many hats Captain Coder has. You'd be surprised. Let's go look at the transform class. Transform here. It might just be position. Position, yeah, vector 2 position. Transform dot position dot, what is it just a vector 2? Okay, okay. In that case, we just want to do equals new vector 2 50, 50. Position. It's not contain a definition for position. Are you transform 2D? Transform. It's just position. There we go. Are you fashionista? Man brave, look, I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. No matter what they say. Hats can't keep me down. I'm sorry you guys have to deal with me. Look. Why is anyone here? This doesn't make any sense to me. Why would anyone be here? All right, so we added it in there like that. All right, so we can add a child like that. So one thing that's interesting is it's a little bit... Does anyone know, is there a way to see... So I know in Unity, when you're running stuff, you can see it out here as well. Is this what we do? Remote. There it is. Remote. There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. You're beautiful, Godot. Okay, so we want to remove, before we initialize the bird, we actually want to remove all the children from it. We're going to take, I guess we could just start by not having children in it. The issue is, we're going to change it. You've finally seen the light, blinded by the lights. Godot and C#, we're going to fight, because we're blinded. I don't know what I'm saying, folks. Folks, Captain Coder's off the rocker today. Look at that hat. Look at this hat. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful hat we got there. We got 3 minutes till the next break, folks. All right, so I can add these in. What I need to do is I actually need to do a for each. Here's where we're going to do it. We're going to do a game state, board. Thank you for reading the tags, and thank you for your hat. The guy who asked just asked for a hat. The guy who asked just asked for a hat. We're gonna do a hat reallocation. I don't think I can get this one on top. My students, I get a lot of eye rolls. And I'm that teacher that I think a lot of students are like, we got to do a reallocation here. We're gonna do a hat reallocation. Perfect. Oh boy. This is an unstable hat stack, folks. This is thank you for the sus. All right. I don't know how, I gotta be very still here. That means you're interested in Upborn. Yeah. I also use, in my class, I do have like, I do that with my students. I have the sus thing pop out. I teach remotely online, so I do have all the silly overlay stuff going on in my class. I don't have the dopamine one. Thank you for the dopamine. Can the students redeem hats? There is no hat redeem in the class. There is no hat redeem in the class. That's a great question. GameState.currentPuzzle.board. This is very unstable. This order of hats is not good. We're gonna have to figure something out here. For each int rank in board dot ranks. Captain doesn't play around when he teaches. It's true. Care file in board dot files. True story. It's a true story. All right. And we're gonna come in here. I wish I hadn't deleted that code. The color here is going to be rank plus file mod 2 equals 0 question mark gray colors dot beige. Beige. And then our position is going to be our rank times board dot cell or cell size. And each time you guys get questions right, we had a hat to my head. That's not a bad idea. Look, the students do pretty good. They don't need that much motivation. They're pretty good on their own. Dragon Dust, you going for it? You going for it? Let's see what happens here. Rank times cell size. We need to do board dot size minus that there. Thank you for the hat redeem, Dragon Dust. Let's get we got a few more left. All right, this one's a little corny. Let's see if we can get this one. We might have to do a little bit more allocation here. Let's do some pops. That one needs to not. We're gonna keep that one down there on the bottom. We're gonna do some hat reallocations here. Got to do some pops. Gonna get this one on. Perfect. And then we're gonna come in. All right, stable as ever. JD, what have you been working on your stream, by the way, folks? If you guys don't know, JD does dev, JD's play sax, JD does impersonations.
You feel like you're talking with.
Watch out, she might not be able to tell the difference between us. We're basically the same person.
Not the captain, but my eyebrows also move in a way like the captain.
That's right, hiatus. These are weight-bearing lobes. Weight-bearing lobes, folks. Be sure to give JD some love. Be sure to click. Look at this. Do you see this beautiful button right there? You see this? Oh, that was weird. Look, if you zoom in really close, you see this beautiful face? You see this beautiful face right there? That one? This beautiful face? If you want to see this beautiful face more often, all you got to do is click this button. Click this button, and then your life will be better. Your life will be better for it. I promise. There it is, JD. Exactly. There it is. What are you talking about, Lance? That was high definition image right there. Stream from a pixel art game art form. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna add a tile here. This is our size here, and then we want to do file minus a times cell size. So I'm hoping this will get our board tiles all added in here. Let's do a little run button. Come on, baby. Give me a board. Woo! There it is. Revere! Speaking of legendary. Revere. It's been great. It's not been great. It's great. I'm not saying it's been great. I've missed you. It's great seeing you here. I hope you've been well. How have you been? What have you been working on? Last I saw, you were transferring your stuff over to the Godot. I'm getting a new house. That's awesome. Congratulations. Folks, if you guys haven't seen Revere is also streaming. I haven't seen you stream in a while, but you're not going to want to miss it. Making a game about space trucking. Give him some love. It's been awesome. Look, give him some love because you don't want to miss when Revere has that comeback. Why won't this let me resize? Why is my drawing pixel so big and it won't let me resize it? There it is. I wasn't holding control. Look, now I can make it nice and big there. I had to hold the control button down. I just forgot how things work. Give him some love. We love you, Revere. I can't wait for you to come back. Go, it's Godot. Go, gadget Godots. Yeah. Revere, I hope you've been well. I'm glad to hear you're moving into a new house. I'm glad things are not bad. Not bad. Okay, so we have this now. What I want to try and do next is add in a sprite to each one of those. So this feels like probably not the correct Godot thing to do, but our board tile, I also want this to have a sprite 2D, and this is going to be the child of this thing. So when this thing gets created, we put a child inside of it, and we'll have a sprite here. And when we set it, it's going to actually move it underneath. I don't know. I don't know what I said, but I'm sure it was terrible. No one clip it. No one clip it. All right, folks, we're gonna go on for 90 minutes. We're gonna take a break. My neck needs a break, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna do a hat deallocation. Even more hats. Binary G. We're gonna do a hat. We're gonna do a hat stack clear here. Welcome back to the stream, Binary G. We're gonna clear the stack. When we come back, we're going to get some stretches in, then we're going to keep Godootin'. We're going to keep Godotin'. Put a child in it. You said to not clip. I don't know what I said. Look, I don't know what I said. Don't get me in trouble. Exactly, JD. JD, you're in charge. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Primas for Captain Coder.
All right, everybody. Captain Coder's back. Captain's Coder's back. I hope everyone... I missed you. I missed you. Did you guys miss me? Did you miss me? I missed you. Happy... what is today? Wednesday, everybody. We're gonna hop back in. Thank you, Codemuck. We're gonna hop back in here. We're doing some Godot. We're doing some Go. Roger Dev, what do you mean what happened? What happened? I took my hats off. I took my hats off. This is what you guys did to me. This is what you guys did to me, guys. the tea. This is what you guys did to me with all those hats. You crushed my head. This is what I look like now. This is what I look like now with all the hats. All the hats crushed my head, ruined my hair. Now that is who I am. This is who I am, everybody. So you have no one to blame but yourself. You have no one to blame but yourself for what you did. All right. All right, so we're back at it. We're back at it here. We had a question coming. Let's see here. We had a question. Let's see. What was the question here? Do you have any experience? Let's see. We drop a game for the extended break. Oh, Hiatus posted something here. Let's take a look here. So we have a few things here. We dropped a game for your extended break. It's just an idle game. Oh, I'll look it up. Hiatus, if you're still here, please post it on the Discord as well so I can find it. But you got any shader experience? Very minimal shader experience. We have very minimal shader experience here. We did a collab with Fuel Snabble. Fuel Snabble is an absolutely incredible with shaders. On the Discord as well. I would recommend, if you're having a binary G, it looked like you had a question related to it. You can, if you come into the Discord, I'm going to recommend coming down to, I have too many channels, but the Ask for Help channel is what I'm going to recommend you go into. Go into the Ask for Help channel. And then, am I watching Red Dwarf? Smap, this is what all the hats did. This is what the hats did to me. The hats, they crushed my head. They crushed my head. Now this is who I look like. This is what I look like. This is what I look like now. Messed up my hair. But yeah, if you go to the Ask for Help here and post your question there, I bet people will help you out. I don't have that much experience with shaders. I know basically very minimal with shaders there. But yeah. All right, everybody. All right, we're going to hop back in. We're going to Godot here. But yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with it. Binary GS, sorry, I don't have a better answer for you. Ascertainment, welcome to the stream, by the way. Hope you're having a good day. It's a Vindiluvian. It's a Vindiluvian. Oh, man, I haven't seen Red Dwarf in forever. When did Red Dwarf come out? That's like, is that 90s or 80s? Red Dwarf show. The British show. 1988. Whoa. 12 seasons. No one. This show is great. If you guys haven't seen Red Dwarf, go check it out. Fantastic show. Congratulations on being number 17, Ascertainment. Congratulations on number 17. Okay, here we go. It's not, it's still, do they still have more seasons coming out? Red Dwarf, let's take a look here. Still younger than me. Okay, so the original one, let's see. 12. Hang on, do they have, I'm sure I haven't seen all of it. I'm absolutely positive I haven't seen it. Wow. Okay, so the original run was essentially to 1993. And then they came out with another, some more stuff here. Okay. So the original run was to 1993, and then they started coming out with some additional stuff. So, and then back to 2009. 2020, The Promised Land. Okay, that makes more sense to me. I was like, I don't remember. I had no idea. Maybe I'd heard of these ones, but I had no idea it had come back after that. Very cool. You learned to TIL. I wish it wouldn't zoom. Oh, look, there we go. I'm learning. I'm a learning machine, folks. I'm a learning machine. We can move around. This tool is so cool. Moonness! Why did I manage to make my game objects drag and drop on interface fields in Unity? Congratulations. That's awesome. That is awesome. Do you see what they did to me, Moonness? Do you see what they did to me? All those hats. They got me. Look what's happened to me. All right. Let's hop back in here. We're good, Newton. We're gonna see if we can finish this up. So right now we have it. So when we run, right now we have it when we run that the board. What happens if we add a hat now? I have no idea what's gonna happen if we add a hat now. I have no idea what I'm gonna do if there's a hat involved in this situation. Only one way to find out. Too bad, Lance. Too bad. I need some little tiny hats I can stick to this head here. Oh man, that'd be really funny. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I'd do. Well, we'd have to wait and find out. I'm not clever enough for that. I didn't think that far ahead. I didn't think we'd ever get to this point, to this moment in time. If I'm being completely honest, I didn't think we'd get to this moment in time. Okay, so we have our chess game here. You have no idea how still I am keeping my head right now. ID&T, welcome back to the stream. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Well, welcome to the stream. What are you up to? I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's great to see you. Happy Wednesday, my friend. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. What is wrong with me? Hyper, welcome back to the stream as well. It's nice to see you on this beautiful Wednesday. What are you up to? I hope you're having a beautiful Wednesday. We gotta get some chin hats. We need to get some Captain Chin Hat. That's right, we need some chin hats here. If I talk hard enough, the eyes actually Google around a little bit too. Okay. Let's continue. Let's continue here. Our board tile, I wanted to add a sprite to this. So to get that, you're in tutorial hell. I'm sorry to hear that. Under the hood, I believe I'm gonna add in a sprite 2D. I can't look away. Look, you'll never know what's gonna happen here. Under the hood, we have a sprite here, and this is gonna return our sprite. Set needs to do some stuff. I don't think it's quite sprite equals value. We need to destruct. We need to get rid of the last one. If sprite is null, destroy node. How do we get rid of a node? How do we deconstruct a node? Does the garbage collector just do it for us? That's a question I have that I have to know here. Remove destroy child. Is no. So if it is not null, yeah, you're correct, Beliar. You are correct. Beliar points. Add Beliar 125 points. Thank you for the help. Thank you for helping me out there. Okay, so we want to add in. We're gonna add in here. What are we gonna add? It's a good question. Oh no, I need to get like a green screen ski mask to hide that part of my face. Those eyes have we've seen. I've seen some things. I've seen things. I don't know what's wrong with me. Do you think this is what I should do? What do you guys think if I did this as a teacher for my students? You want to look yourself first. All right, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, we are gonna look up. We talking about Red Dwarf? We were talking about Red Dwarf. Here we go. We're gonna do Godot. Remove child hyper. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this situation. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. All right. Here, thank you for the hat redeem. Here's what's gonna happen. Oh no. Here's what's gonna happen. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to handle. But look. Thank you for putting a hat on the stack. We're gonna end up with some hats there. Deist Jodlin, welcome to the stream. Desist. Hang on, we gotta do it this way. I think I'm gonna do a sing from the desktop so we get the face. Desist, Jodlin, welcome to the stream, my friend. We got Desist, Jodlin, following the captain today. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the academy. Desist Dawdling. Thank you for following me. Thank you for the follow, Desist. We are wearing a hat. I don't know, dude. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. All right. What we are trying to figure out how to remove a child from an object and destroy it. To Godot, destroy node is sort of what I want to do. I want to remove it. How to destroy Node object. How can I destroy an object? How do I remove a node and all its descendants? I want to get rid of a node. Q.free? Q free. Okay. Q free. Beautiful. Sprite. Here. What is this doing? No method. Q free. Oh, so I do sprite dot Q free. This will queue it for removal. And then do I have to like disable it? Do I need to disable it in some way? Do I need to get rid of it? There you go. Okay. So what I want to do now is in my board. Nope, that removes it. Okay. So what I want to do in my board render, we need to actually give it a sprite here. So we're going to add our sprites into our resource here. Let's create a folder called sprites. Nope. Need an S on the end there. Sprites like that. And then we're going to add in and Q-free deletes it from memory before next process. Okay. Now create 7-up to make it fair. Look, we'll make a 7-up to make it fair. Staying in the little camera down here is a little more challenging than I thought it would be. It's actually about as challenging as I thought it would be, if I'm being completely honest. Okay, what am I doing? I want to open up a file explorer here. We need to go over to our Captain Coder GitHub folder, GitHub Captain Coder. Bear with me, folks. We're going here. We have our sprites. So in our assets, we have our sprites here. These are the sprites we need to add in. Like this. Oh, can't do that. Can I do that? There we go. So now we have our sprites added in. And I want to know how do I construct a sprite? How do I make one of these in the code? I'm expecting gravity to take effect and those eyes are falling. They feel like they're barely attached. Yeah. Oh no! Ah! The gravity in my eye. I'm blind. Oh, that was a close one. It is. The gravity's gonna get you. Gravity's gonna get you. It's true. Hello. I'm sorry. I don't know if this is more fun for me or you guys. I don't know who it's more fun for. Okay. What am I gonna do here? Let's. I need to create a sprite. All right. New sprite 2D. So we have a sprite 2D. Sprite and sprite dot. I need to set the resource. So in the code, let's go look at sprite 2D here. Let's look at the code. I want to set the texture. So I need to figure out how to create a texture for this, I'm assuming. Yeah. So I need to figure out how to create a texture from my resource to be able to actually set the texture to be the image it fills that way. String name texture, cache from the texture property. Yes, in the UI, otherwise you have to create a texture from an image. That's essentially what so can I create a texture down here? Can I create a resource texture? Is this what I would do? I'd create a texture here. Image texture. Oh, there we go. Image texture. Create folder. We'll call this textures. And we'll call this the bishop. Do I need to? All right, so textures, bishop. And then can I specify the image I want? It's really hard here. Need an image, and that is imported as a texture 2D. So I do have an image. Oh, so these are texture 2Ds. So I can just use this. This is the look, who doesn't love a good math? Profits. You see what all the hats did to me? The hats, they got me. The hats, they crushed my head a little bit. All right, so technically these are texture 2Ds. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. So what we want to do then is I don't need this this texture. What I'm hoping to be able to do is be able to set it to this. How do I turn this into a texture? How do I access this from the code? So I have these. How do I access these? You can load an image as a texture 2D. Okay. So let's look at texture 2D here. So we're going to do sprite.texture equals new texture 2D. Can I do this? No. Let's look at the texture 2D. Let's see if there's a way to load this from a resource. Hang on. Godot load texture from file. Load texture from file. This is part of their forum. Let's go look. Godot texture 2D. Godot stable texture 2D. Let's look at the. Do we have any methods here? Do we have static methods? A texture works by registering an image in the video hardware. Texture can often be created by loading them from a file. All right, so gdscripts.load. I will say these documentation are pretty good. You would use preload most likely, but .NET can't preload. Okay. So resource.load. That's okay. We'll try. We can't preload. That's interesting. Main will contain a packed source. Give us a resource. Okay, so I want to do something like this. I think I need a cache. I think I'm gonna need a cache. It's my eye! It's coming off again. I'm about to lose another eye. There we go. We'll be a Cyclops for now. All right, there we go. Better. How do we feel about that? All right, folks. Let's we're all right. We're gonna go back to normal view here. We're gonna go back to normal view here. The eyes, the adhesion's it's not being as heated as we want. We're gonna get some little hats, folks. Thank you for that. Thank you for bearing with me in this insanity. All right. It's not showing the C# version, but let's try. Really, we're going to end up with a board. We're going to have some kind of cache here, a board render. Let's have a cache public static. This is what I eventually would want to have. It's something like this. It's going to be a dictionary from chess piece to texture 2D. So I don't want to load them all. Thank you for the invert, JD. Thank you for the invert. I need to make it so that I had, yeah. So people were complaining that I didn't have, that I set it up so only I could do it. So now we have the upside down invert. I think I need to make it so it won't stay upside down forever though. But thank you for the invert. Thank you for the invert. We're going to go with piece textures. I don't know. Look, maybe people want to look at me there. There's back to normal. How's your hat still staying on? Magic. I got those. It's an anti-gravity hat. All right. So what I want to do is load these static constructor. Can I do a static constructor? Maybe not. It might not let me do that. When we're ready, we're going to load. Hang on, we'll make this null. And we're going to say when we initialize if piece textures is null, load textures. Like this. And so what we might end up with like a weird hiccup. It should be fine. Resource loader.texture2d file path is static. Awesome. Thank you, Beliar. So you're saying I want to do it for all of them. Hang on. So I could do this. Load textures. And we will do a private static dictionary chess piece to texture 2D. pieces, textures. And this one will be null. And then we'll create a static method that is going to return this type, load textures. Is nullable not a thing? I can't do that anyway. Right, I guess I could. I just need to turn it on. That Godot uses a virtual file system for files inside of thread. Yeah, so I did see that, and I think that's really cool. Sally Prosper. Sally Prosper. I would like to thank you for following me now, Sally Prosper. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome to the crew, and I hope you enjoy your stay today. We got Sally Prosper following. Welcome to the crew. Thank you for the follow, Sally. Happy to have you here. We're going to say if textures is null, we're going to load it, and then we're going to return textures here. So if textures is null, we need to actually load all these things in here. So we're saying resource loader dot load texture 2D, and we're gonna give it a path here. It's gonna be resource sprites, and we're gonna go through each one, bishop.png, and we're gonna do textures equals new dictionary like this. We'll do textures of chess piece.bishop is equal to that. Okay, cool. We're going to see if we can load them all up this way. So we're going to have a pawn. Of course, we're going to have to fix all of these here. Pawn, king, bishop, knight. I don't know why I'm doing it in this ridiculous order. It's just the order my brain decided to do it, and then I'm having all the regrets. So this should be queen, rook, knight, king. Boom, 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 boom. Slapped it together, folks. Got it slippity, slappity, sloppity. And now when we're ready, when we initialize the board, we can set this texture based on whether or not there's a piece there, whether or not there's a piece in it. The top wrong is still wrong. No, maybe I want dragon dust. Maybe I want my pawn to look like a bishop. Maybe I want my pawn to look like a bishop. Huh? You ever think about that? You ever think? No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Pawn, thank you for helping me, Dragon Dust. Dragon Dust points. Add Dragon Dust. 125 points. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Let's keep going here. The texture is going to be based on whether or not we have... All right, so if... We're going to make a position equals new position, rank, and file. We're going to say if our board dot is occupied at the position dot rank position dot file. Then we need to actually get one of these. All right. So then we'll say, okay, this is going to be our textures. Hang on. Why am I doing it this way? Why am I being... Let's have it load textures here. Yeah, we're gonna have it do it this way. I'm just gonna get rid of you. Make sure that when we're ready, we load the textures. Okay. This will be our tile dot sprite dot texture. Ah, this makes sense. This is gonna make sense. So our tile here. Let me think. I don't want... Do I want to make this sprite? Yeah, because we don't necessarily have... When we set it... Okay, this makes sense. This makes sense because we actually have to create this thing. I guess we could swap it out. Thindle, welcome back to the stream. Once upon a time on the internet. There was a man named Thindle who had a pretty cat. And you know that cat's name? That cat's name was Zelda. And that fella held that Zelda so nicely. So nicely indeed. And if you guys want to meet Zelda, you can.
Kitty!
It's Kitty! Thindle, thank you for being here. I hope you're having a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it happens to be. I hope you're having a beautiful time zone. Happy Wednesday, my friend. We're Godootin'. We're Godootin' today.
All right, let's.
The cat is a goat. Absolutely true. I want to, when we clear the last one and then we set this new one. Okay, and really, I guess this should be a texture. Captain, I am learning discrete mathematics this semester. Very cool. It got me like, what is going on? So discrete mathematics, I really enjoyed. There's a variety of different ways it could be approached or what class, but I am a big fan of discrete mathematics. One of my favorite subjects. Thank you for the hat redeem, Locks. Let's add a hat to the stack. Let's get a hat to the stack. Thank you for the hat redeem. This one just like fit right on top. Hang on, we're gonna change color hats there. So that way it's there. RJ, thank you for the hat. We're gonna put that hat on. We got 2 hats. We're 3 hats deep, folks. 3 hats deep. Thank you for the hat redeems. Thank you for the hat redeems. All right, let's hop back in. Aries, you're having trouble with your discrete mathematics. If you have questions, feel free to post them on the Discord. We can take a look at them. Discrete mathematics is like puzzle solving, problem solving, thinking about algorithms and proofs. We're learning this for computer science. It's really important. I wouldn't say really important. It falls into the category of the algorithms. Falls into the category of algorithms and solving algorithms. It's a mindset, a way you think of stuff. It's because computers operate on discrete mathematics. They operate on discrete mathematics. Yeah, thank you for the hat redeem. Let's add a hat to the stack. Computers are discrete mathematic computation machines. They work with zeros and ones. They work with integers. Discrete mathematics is the mathematic of non-continuous numbers. Non-continuous numbers, and that's what computers do. TBD Gamer, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the raid. TBD Gamer, thank you for the raid, my friend. Hello. TBD Gamer, thank you for the raid. Folks, be sure to give TBD Gamer some love. What were you working on your stream? Feel free to drop some links if you'd have them. You don't have any links, that's also fine. It's to understand how you can use computers to solve problems. So the study of discrete mathematics is the study of basically mathematics with non-continuous numbers, so integers. How can we use integers to think about puzzles, think about problems? At least that's how I've thought about discrete mathematics. Discrete mathematics. Let me make sure. Study of mathematical structures that are countable or otherwise distinct and separable. Yeah, so integers, countable stuff. So how can we think about problems that are in this countable space? Because computers, everything is zeros and ones. Everything is 0 ones. Everything at the end of the day is how can we describe the world? How can we create data models using integers? And so the entire fundamentals of how modern computers work is based on discrete math. And so that's why they have you learn it. I think it's a really important skill to have. Maybe not important skill, a very useful skill to have, especially in the world of algorithms and data structures. Do I use discrete mathematics on a daily basis? Not really. Do I think about it on a daily basis? Not really. Are there times when it comes in handy for me to know those things? Absolutely. TBD Gamer says, mainly continuing discussion about design and working on my agile platform stuff. Awesome. Talking about Kafka and APIs and all the fun things. Yeah, Aries, I hope it's useful. It is a challenging class. It's a mindset. You have to warp your brain around it a little bit because it's not like for me, it wasn't like any other thing I'd studied previously. So I understand that. I'm going to change this to be a textured 2D because I don't want to have to construct the image. We're going to call this image. And we are going to actually have, when we set this thing, we will actually construct a sprite under the hood if we need it. Can we toggle sprites on and off? Like in Unity, we have an enabled and disabled, so whether or not something is visible. So we could just give this thing a sprite under the hood. Hang on. Sprite 2D, when we construct this thing, show and hide, thank you. Public sprite 2D sprite. I'm gonna do this. When we construct this thing in ready, I am just gonna give it a sprite to begin with. Popcorn says, that's cool. A lot of people have disdain for Instagram. How far along are you? I love my computer science class, so that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. So we're gonna create a sprite equals new sprite like this. And we will just sprite.hide. Right, so it's not gonna be shown initially. It's not gonna be shown initially. And what I want to do, and maybe we'll make this a private sprite 2D, like this. This is our child object. We're gonna add this as a child, add child. I'm slightly worried this rectangle is gonna draw on top of it. I'm gonna add the child to this as a sprite underneath. And our texture here is gonna be the thing we can set texture. And we're gonna have a get and a set. Get is gonna be our sprite.texture, and set is going to be our sprite.texture equals value, like this. So we're gonna set the value here. When we set it, we're gonna say if sprite. This is interesting, the way I'm doing this. We're gonna do it this way. Sprite.texture equals value. And I'm gonna have a property bool is occupied. Get set. There's something tricky here in my mind where I want to be able to turn this on and off, this sprite on and off, the texture of it. So I'm struggling to decide how I want to do it. I think I'm overcomplicating. I'm just going to make this thing accessible in this way. We're going to add the sprite in like this. We're going to make it a gettable and a private settable. And I want to make it so that way here in my board renderer, when I initialize the board, I can do my sprite tile.sprite.texture, and then I can pull out, I can do textures of board.get piece at my position.rank, position.file, like this. So I'm going to be able to set the texture that way, and then my tile.sprite.show. I think this is the simple. I was about to go down like this rabbit hole of abstraction. I've been trying to make things simpler, less abstraction, more straightforward. Still using object-oriented programming, but focusing a bit on doing procedural coding as much as possible, because I tend to over-engineer in horrible ways. Let's see how we did. What's my debugger saying here? What's this? Oh, 5 errors. Cannot open. Can I clear this? Okay. Those are things that I don't think are actually issues anymore. Popcorn says, Captain, did you look at Rust and how it forced you to do composition over inheritance? I'm a big fan of a lot of the things Rust does. I love, in Rust, everything is constant by default. Our remote here doesn't seem that I added in. Did I call initialize board? Load textures, initialize board. I don't understand why I didn't end up with multiple tiled children. Something seems to have gone wrong. Read all. I don't know what's going on with this. There's no file here. It might have been because I deleted this file. Cannot load C# script. Okay, immutable by default. That's fine. Renald Marshall, thank you for reading the tags. Points, add, Marshall. And I'm sure other people have seen it and I've missed it. But thank you for reading the tags. Larry says, I think it's good to learn C++ to see the improvements other language bring. So funny fact. I know very little C++. I've done almost no coding in C++, but I have done a lot of coding in C. I love programming in C. A lot of people hate C. I'm a big fan of the C programming. Initialize null pointer reference. Okay, so we failed here. Object is set, not set to an instance. Sprite. Oh, our tile here has not actually had ready run yet. When C is good, it is really good. When C isn't good, it is really terrible, Thindle. When you say terrible, do you think when you are running into issues? My first language was PHP. Binary G, one of my first languages was PHP. My first web language was PHP. I think PHP is a fantastic. If you want a job, do PHP. They're hiring. You can get a job as a PHP developer. Terrible as it does a ton of work to do simplest things. Give me an example, Thindle. Give me an example. I find that in C is incredibly simple. C is incredibly simple. Win32, well, that's not so you're already doing something not simple. That's what I'd say. I'd say Win32 is not simple. You're doing something not simple at that point. People think drawing stuff on the screen is simple. That's not simple. That's not simple. If you're interacting with an operating system, suddenly you're in the sea of complexity. The standard C library just riddled with bugs. I want you to see for anything now. Give me an example. What bug is in the standard C library? I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Tell me, show me a bug that's in the standard C library. Anything that has to do with strings? There's no such thing as a string in C. There's no such thing as a string in C. The language is great. What you need to use it. What you need to do to use it isn't except when it is. It's a bit 0 or 1 in my opinion. I used to do a lot of embedded systems. So I love programming in C. It lets you do anything. Look. If you want to touch the computers fiddly bits, you want to get in there and touch the bits directly, C lets you do that. It's like, hey, I'm gonna let you do whatever you want. And then if the operating system, sprintf is broken, snprintf is, well, give me code. Send me code where sprintf is broken. Give me code where sprintf is broken. Tell me what it's supposed to do and what it does that is broken. 100%, it lets you do anything, including blowing things up. There you go. Show me some code where sprintf is broken. I'm not saying you're wrong, Popcorn. I'm just saying I'm skeptical. Ready is run when the node enters the scene. Yeah, that is the root of all nodes. Adding a child a node that is in the scene tree would do that, but not sure if that's instant. Yeah, so I think I need to add in something extra here, because I can't actually add our sprite yet. I don't think I can actually do this get and set thing just yet. Does that mean it's a bug though? Popcorn, is that a bug or is that a vulnerability? JD, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? Why do you hate me, JD? So that's all I'm saying is it broken? Is it a bug? Or is it a vulnerability? Those are different. Those are different. You will write vulnerable C code. You will write vulnerable C code. What do you mean broken? Like, your definition of broken is different than my definition of broken, I think. JD, why would you do this to me? Let's check out how bad this is. If you want to touch the computers, fiddly bits, you want to get in there and touch the bits direct. If you want to touch the computers, fiddly bits, you want to get in there and touch the bits direct. If you want to touch the computers. All right. Can one of the mods ban JD, please? I'm just kidding, JD. I love you. I let the part about you putting a child in there go. I appreciate it. Money will be lost. Lives will be lost. Not reasonably write C code that isn't broken in C without spending 10x time. I disagree. I think so. I would call that a skill issue. Yeah. It depends on what you're doing in it. Smap, thank you for being here. Yeah. So look, let me say, there's a reason I write in C sharp. That said, if I want to do some super low level stuff, I love me a good C. I love me a good C library. I love me writing some stuff in C. Sometimes it's the tool you need. There's a reason. So popcorn. There is a reason I write in C sharp. I've written C that has billions of actual dollars running through it a month. It's just hard. Gotcha. Okay. I need a way to set this texture. So I actually think I need to do this. I actually think I do need this. Like this. And when we're ready, there's like some magic I have to do here. Is there an idea of prefabs in Godot? Is there an idea of prefabs? I think everything's kind of a prefab, right? Can you explain arrow functions? Hyper, sure. Arrow functions in C sharp specifically? It's a good question. They're pretty straightforward. Make their arrow functions. Okay, .NET new console. All right, let's do some arrow functions. Let's talk about arrow functions real quick. All right, so we have a question. Can you explain arrow functions in C sharp? So we can write a normal function in C sharp. Let's write a function here, public. I guess I don't have a class. We'll do a public static class utils. And we'll have a function public static void display string message console.writeLine message. All this is going to do is I call utils here. If I do utils, this is just a copy here, display hello there. So this is a plain old method. Do a .NET run on it. It's happy. We're going to get this out here. An arrow is just if you have a single line here. So we can do this called a body expression definition. I can only use it if I have a return type. So if I do this, maybe it'll actually work. My return type matches. So notice my function was one line. So I can do this for it. This is body expression definition saying, hey, by the way, just do this one line thing. That's a simple way to do it. We can do a little bit more complex as well. I can create a function here. Let's do a function. It's called the delegate. Let's do a function here that takes in an integer and returns a double. And we're going to call this int2double. And the right side, I can create an arrow function here and specify a variable. So int x, and then I can give it a body. Let's say I want to do some more things. I can actually do some additional things here. I think I can do it this way. Return double. We're going to cast it to a double here like this. And it's telling me I don't actually need this, but I could do some extra stuff. Console.writeLine, converting x to double. Like this. So the arrow function lets us create what's called a delegate in C#. It's not an arrow function, an arrow function. This is a lambda expression. This lets us create what is often called an anonymous function in some languages, but C# lets us create delegates. So it's saying this happens to be a function delegate that lets us take in an x and produce a double. So this here is the input, this is the output. So I could do this now, int to double dot invoke, and I pass in I think 5 here. And if I run this, let's do a double as double as double. I don't think it's going to actually show any decimals here, but if I run this thing, I get hello there. It's calling this function. Then the int to double gets defined in this way. We call that function here, and it does it. This invoke actually isn't necessary. It's just tends to be good practice. You can actually use it with just the parentheses like this. All right. Did that answer your question? Great question, by the way. Hyper, did that answer your question? I usually call these lambdas. I call them lambdas. Popcorn says, I don't think delegate needs to be part of the parlance for C# in 2024. This is just, yeah, probably not. This happens to be a delegate type. So if you were to go look up this thing, it says delegate here. So it's important, I think, to understand, well, what the heck does this delegate do? All delegate is saying is, hey, this is a function type. So I think it's important to see the word. So if you ever go look at it, you're like, well, what is this? Oh, it's not even a class. What the heck is this thing? That confused the heck out of me for a while until I really understand it. Fresh meat, welcome back to the stream. Let's get a hat in there. Thank you for the hat, Redeem. We'll add a hat to the stack here. All right. Thank you so much for the hat. A nice fresh hat there on the top. Thank you so much for asking. Excellent question, Hyper. Points, add Hyper. Oh, hi. 125 points. Great question. Can you explain closures for the gentleman? Rust irks me. It calls lambdas closures. So, do you, Popcorn, do you actually want to know what a closure is? Or are you being a little bit facetious? I'll explain what a closure is if you'd like. I'm happy to explain what a closure is. Closures are pretty cool. The idea is you have a function that saves context in it. Closures are actually really cool. You don't use them a lot. It is important for lambdas. It can be. Can you explain how events with delegates work? Can you explain how events with delegates work? Good question. Normal Nick. Let's see if we can explain that. It captures the state at that time is sort of what it is. So if we had something like, if we were producing a function here, can you explain how events with delegates work? Yeah, we can explain that. I can do my best. I'll do my best. I'll try. Normal Nick, welcome to the stream, by the way. Just love to listen to you explain stuff. Okay, let's do this events here. Let's talk about events real quick. And the idea with an event here, let's create a class here. We're going to create an event. All right, so we have an event keyword here. An event expects, I believe I would do something like this, function. Let's do an action. Action here. This action is going to do a thing on display. Okay, is this the way I would do it? Action on display. Cannot declare an instance. Oh, public static. All right, so I have an event here called onDisplay. Action is the delegate. The action is the delegate. An action is a function that doesn't have any arguments and doesn't return anything. It performs something. That's why it's called an action. It doesn't produce anything. Maybe Tall, thank you for the hat redeem. Let's add a hat to the stack here. All right. All right. So to reiterate, maybe Tall, welcome back, by the way. We create an event here called onDisplay, and we've given it an it's a type is action here. So what I'm going to do is anytime display is called, we are going to run the actions associated with this. So display here takes in a message. Actually, let's make this action taking a string. Taking a string, we're going to forward this to it. So onDisplay, and we call this, we're going to do onDisplay dot invoke message. This question mark is important. This says if there are no actions, if nothing's been registered, don't do anything. So that there's an important piece of it there. And I think it wants me to put a question mark here. I'm not 100% sure if that's actually what's going on. I could be wrong, but basically it's saying if onDisplay, if no one's registered anything, do nothing. All right. So you'll notice if now I call util.display, I'm going to get rid of this here. Util.display kind of does nothing right now. I'll do a .NET run. Does nothing. But I can register an action that accepts a string here. So now I can do utils.onDisplay plus equals. This is what I do here. And I say message. And we can make this be a console.writeLine message. So I'm saying, let's add this plus equal here is interesting. It's a little bit, if you're used to Unity event, it's a little bit different. It's saying register this event, register this delegate. This thing happens to be a delegate, and I can pull it out here as an action string write line, and I could do this. I could take this thing here and say, I can make this a delegate like that. And then I say write line here. All right. We do have multi-gas delegates, so we got to be a little bit careful with that. That's absolutely true. So I have this write line here. And I'm saying register. Now when I call display, it's going to forward this message to everything that's registered. Everything that's registered. Let's do another one here. Let's do an action string write error. Write line red. All right, message is going to be equal to. This one is going to do a little bit extra. We're going to do a console color, console.foreground color equals console color.red. Console.writeLine message, and then we're going to reset the color. And what I can do is say, let's say, okay, on display, now I can swap this out. Instead of registering write line, I get a write line red. And if I run this event here, I get red with the hello there. Okay, I can actually register both of these. Let's say I want to write line red and do a regular write line. I can register both of them. The order here matters. The order here is important. Something's gone wrong with my terminal. Hang on. My keyboard, it stopped letting me type things in. .NET run. The order I register them happens to be the order they're going to be invoked. So that's important. The other thing is I can register them multiple times. Do write line multiple times. Now it's going to write it 3 times. Okay. So this allows me to say, hey, when I call this display function, do a thing. This can be really useful for updating information about a player. So on update tends to be a really good one. Let's do an on. Let's make a class here. So that's sort of the mechanics of it. Let's make a class here called player character. Okay. Make a class here called player character. Oh, I made a folder. That's not what we want. Let's make a class called player character. This is one of the spots I like to do. Player character. Here, so public class. Exactly. Normally, like you subscribe a delegate to the event. Public class player character. And then you can use it to do interesting things later. You can use it to do interesting things later. So we're gonna have an event here called on update. And on update is going to be an action. This is a very common way. This is a very common way we're going to say, when this player changes, send this player. So if someone wants to know when the player changes, they can get it here. Okay. And so we can have a public string name. I'm going to get set on it. Public string HP, get set, public. Oh, this one shouldn't be a string. It should be let's go with int level, get set like this. Okay, so one way you might write a game when your player might have a display player info, something like that. You have something on your screen. You don't want to be drawing the player info every frame. You only want to draw the info when the player information actually changes. So you might do something like this, where under the hood you have a name, private string, int, you have the HP, private int level like this. You might have this under the hood. The gets just forward to level. They just get you that value back. But the sets, this is the important part here. Sets don't just set the value. After they're set, we do an on update.invoke, and we say, hey, by the way, I've changed. By the way, I've changed. And you can even expand this further, say, well, I've updated just my on update level, on level change, on name change. So you can use it. This I have my students do this for their UI. And I'm going to show you here in just a second how we can utilize this so that we don't have to draw something every frame. The question mark, good question, Hyper. The question mark is saying if on update has nothing, no delegates registered, don't do anything. This is the null forgiveness operator. It's saying if it's null, don't call it. I could also write if on update is null, not null, on update.invoke. It's almost shorthand for this. You can think of this line and this line is almost the same thing. That's what you can think of it. Julian, welcome back to the stream. Thank you for the woe. So it's the null forgiveness operator. Let's update these. HP. That's just pattern matching. You can override the behavior of not equals null, popcorn, and an example is Unity actually does this. So if you're using Unity on a game object, they've overridden how null interacts. So technically it's possible if you do is null, it makes sure that it's actually a null and does not the null-like behavior here. Okay, so let's do name equals value. So value. And then on update.invoke. Yes. Okay. Unity uses their own they have a fork of a tool called Mono. And so the C# you're using is C# 8 plus a little bit. It's not telling us, saying make sure it's actually a null value. Exactly. Okay, so we have this here. What I'm going to do in my program now, let's make a player character, player. And let's give it a constructor. Public player string name. When we initialize our player name is going to be the name that came in. HP is going to be 10. Level is going to be 1. Okay. What I can do, let's make a new player. Bob's here. we can write a function for displaying character information. Void display character info. Okay, character info. We're going to use set console. So we're going to do console.set cursor position 0, 0. We're going to put it always in the top left of our terminal, and we'll do a console.writeLine Bob. Sorry, not Bob. Player. I can do it. You got to believe in me. Player.name. HP. Player.hp. Level.
You in the back. Pay attention.
Player.level. And we're going to save the cursor position before we do this. I'm going to do, what is it? Console.cursor. Get cursor position. What does this return? A left and top. Int left, int top. So we're going to move the cursor to the top left position, then we're going to move it back to where it was. We'll move it back to where it was. And then at the end, we'll do a console.set cursor position left top. Okay, so display character info here. We're going to say whenever our player changes on update, display character info. Oh, I guess we got to take in a player character player. Like this. On update, sorry, I keep thinking of Unity's events here. We're going to register this here. Every time our player changes, it's going to automatically update the screen for us. It's going to update the screen for us. So check it out. Do console.clear. Let's do player.hp minus. And then we'll do an await. What is it? Thread dot a task dot delay 100. Let's do 500 milliseconds. While player.hp greater than 5. We'll do this. So check this out. Check this out. This is super cool. I don't have to. I wrote this code for updating it by registering to display character info. It's going to automatically do it for us. And you'll watch the hit points go down. The hit points are going down for us until we get to 5. And then we might say, okay, console.writeLine, what do you do? Like this. Yeah, welcome back. Red Mur, happy to see you, my friend. Happy to see you. And Roger Dev, have a beautiful day. Keep coding, keep growing, be the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. Thank you for hanging out. So this can be really useful for when you have some sort of HUD or overlay. There's many ways you can use it, but this is one of the ways I like to use it. Display character info works this way. All right, so we can have it come in here. It's going to display it. I think it's going to end up putting what do you do over it. So what we kind of want to do is set our cursor position. We'll do a console.writeLine to move down initially, and then I think it'll work here. What's Thor up to? What's Thor up to? What do you do? So we can have it sort of update. I don't know if that answered your question, but I hope this is a practical use case you can see rather than just the mechanical use case. This is super good for doing event-driven displays, event-driven programming. When this changes, we want to be able to do some other things. All right, sorry for we went on a major digression there, and I hope that's okay. All right. Okay, folks, we got to wrap up here. Let me make sure there are no... Super educational, I like it. I like it. Popcorn, I'm glad you like it. Oh, Popcorn, let's talk about closures real quick. Can you explain events, delegates, or... Awesome. Thank you for asking. We got arrow functions. We got delegates. Fantastic questions. If I missed a head, I'm sorry. I know there's a lot going on. Closure allows us to save context of something. So Popcorn said, can you explain closures? And a closure lets us save context when we generate a delegate. So let's write a function here. It's going to generate an action. It's going to have an action. It's a function here. It's going to have an action, create closure. Okay. So closure here, and we're gonna return. This is I remember when I learned this, I was like, this is crazy, because I'd done most of my programming in C. We can actually return an action that does something. But what we can do is we can actually save some context here. This looks like the beginning of a Captain MMO. Maybe. We can save some context here. So we have like an int x equals 5. X equals 5. We can use that 5 in here. So maybe this, console.writeLine x. So it's going to show this 5. What this is doing is it returns an action, but we still have this variable here. Smab, I have many thoughts about CSS. I was thinking about it all day yesterday, and I didn't have a very good argument yesterday, but I think I don't know that it's a very good argument. I have an argument now as to why I'm not sure CSS was the best solution for that problem. And I feel, and someone convinced me I'm wrong, we were talking about it here, HTML describes the content of a document, and CSS describes how that document should look. I think it is very important to have CSS separated when you have a document that's going to be read or visible on different platforms. So this is why CSS is really, really useful, is you can have different CSS files or different CSS constraints based on what device it's being looked at. Because I was creating a very specific web game, I felt it was fine to use the inline styles there because it was a small one-off, what am I trying to say? Component. I do think CSS is a great way to set weak argument. Fair. It's a weak argument. I'm just trying to justify myself. Lester Crab, thank you for the follow. Have you met Lester? They're a cab, and I want to say, Lester Cab, thank you for following me today, my friend. Lester Cab, thank you for the follow. Yes, welcome back to the stream. I am wearing many hats. And separate the what and how of the thing improves readability. Maybe. Anyway, I think it reduces the readability of the code. I personally think it reduces the readability of the code by separating it that way. We already have logic in the document generation. I think that's my personal feelings on it. We already have the logic in the document in there. That said, it is a web app. It is a web. I feel like CS Lab. Are you up for a collab talking to Smap? I think you're right. I just don't understand modern CSS. Smab, I think you're right. The modern CSS lacks a lot of earlier weaknesses, and it's definitely a proper... Smab, can you recommend a book or a resource for me? I need to get better at it. Maybe we need to do... Maybe next week, let's force myself. So folks, I think forcing yourself to do something that you're weak at helps you really improve what you're doing. Smab, can you recommend a resource that I can use to force myself to learn modern CSS? And now you have 5x binary G. That's what happens. That's what happens here. Folks, I'm sort of out of time. We didn't make as much progress on Godot as I want. I will probably be finishing this offline tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow, but we might be back. Is in a weird state, a full layout language really should be Turing complete, and unfortunately CSS not. Sort of just keep throwing components at you and hope it covers your use case. King Buns, interesting. I've never done a ton of web development. I've been in startups. I've worked for several startups that have web, and I've done full stack, but I've always had the caveat of I'm not a designer. I'm not a front-end developer. I can hack my way through it if I need to. And I just haven't taken the time to learn it. It's not something that interests me that much, but I see the huge benefit. But maybe I'll try and find some... Smab, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Folks, we're going to find someone to raid out to here. We're We're gonna find someone to rate out. I'm open to suggestions. Mozilla docs tend to be useful. The best time to reward ratio items for layout is probably Flex and Grid. I do use Flex and Grid pretty frequently. When I'm doing stuff, I usually use a component library. What I will say is when I have to write web applications, I usually use a component library, and then I just tweak the styles of that, change the colors a little bit. It's just much easier. I like I said, I'm not a designer, so I don't like to try and design my own page because that has had horrific results in the past. Let's see who we got here. What do we guys? What do we want to do? Do we want to stay in programming? Do we want to do game dev, more game dev? Lynch Makes Games is a recommendation. Let's see what Lynch Makes Games is doing. Godot plus C#. Okay. I'd say raid me, but I'm not online, right? We could still raid your channel. That's a chance. Prepping the first big chat guest update. It looks like we're doing JavaScript stuff right now. So it looks like some JavaScript stuff. I noticed we have some JavaScript files open. Not saying that that's not where we're going, but I've never been here. So Lynch Makes Games. I'm open to recommendations. All right, so we're going for an hour and 50 minutes. I bet they're still going to keep going. All right, folks, when we get there, let's do a welcome. We're going to let them, Revere sent us. This is our raid message. Revere sent us. Where's the Twitch raid? Revere sent us. Show us what you're working on. Hello Comics is fantastic, but we did raid them. Recently. All right, so here's the raid message Revere sent us. Show us what you're working on. Feel free to copy paste that, folks. I will be back tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Be sure to join the Discord. You can sponsor us on GitHub. You can sponsor us on Ko-fi if you'd like. Remember, this channel is ad-free. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not a partner, so no ads show up for you. I don't need the money, but if you want to support us, you can. Join the Discord. Join the fun stuff. Have some good time. Blah, 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 blah. Advertisements. Let's get that raid message up. Revere sent us. Show us what you're working on. Have a beautiful day. Keep coding. Keep growing. I love you all very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.